It's the NFL on EA Sports, and the spotlight falls on Bryce Hall, who's now up to 30 tackles so far this season. It's the Barons and the Hawks, and it's all just ahead on Madden NFL 23.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Today, we've got a Week 13 matchup for you here between the Seattle Seahawks and the Brooklyn Barons. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at our home side in this one. They're squaring off against a very tough unit to throw against.
And this is not one of the better passing offenses in the league to begin with, Brandon. And to illustrate that point, they're down near the bottom of the power ranking, so the focus is going to need to be on possession-type throws. Whether they're trying to use their running backs or tight ends a little bit more, the big thing is to make sure the quarterback gets it out of his hands quickly to his receivers, and they hope to gain an advantage that way.
The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. Taking it about the 1. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. They're led out by a former number 2 overall pick in the draft from BYU at Zach Wilson.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
Here's Wilson to throw right away. And incomplete to open things up. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Wilson. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So 2 incompletions have led him to an early 3rd and 10. Here's Wilson. And the ball is knocked out, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And he does not get to the first down marker as they stop him at the 19. After all of the turnover woes that they had last week, another turnover on the first drive of the game.
And when you dive into the analytics of football, it's real simple. If you're down in turnover margin, you're not going to win very many football games. The best teams always rank in the upper part of the league in terms of turnover margin.
And last week's number for them was 5 turnovers. And as you saw, another one there. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. The Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And they dipped a game below 500 following the loss last week. And you get the sense that maybe this team's at a little bit of a crossroads here.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, because what's that old malaprop? If you come to a fork in the road, take it. Because this crew, they're losing ground fast. They've got to start winning some ball games. And the good teams, they're starting to separate themselves, and these guys are being left behind.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They'll fake the handoff. Now Rudolph. He's got his big tight end, Fant. It'll be a gain of just a yard. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Rudolph looking to throw. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete. But the contact, he's going to move the ball well downfield. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10. Up the middle, here's Walker. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. From the 30 on 2nd down. Rudolph looking deep downfield. And incomplete on the deep ball. They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down. Rudolph now to throw. This complete to Lockett. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. Rudolph. Returning right back to Lockett. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. On the delay, here's Carson. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Here we go now on 1st and goal. They'll fake it. Now Rudolph. Blitz coming, and down he goes. It'll go as nearly a loss of 10 on 1st and goal. So a disaster there. It goes as a 9-yard loss on the sack. Well, that's not how you hope to draw it up there on 1st and goal, CD, by taking a sack like that.
Well, they tried to be aggressive, didn't they? They didn't want to try and work their way past the goal line. They wanted it right there on that play. Unfortunately, it backfired against them. Now they have to try and pick it up here moving forward.
So 1st down went the wrong direction. They're at the 13-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. On 2nd down, it's Walker. And they'll lose yardage here. They go backwards to the 13-yard line. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal. Now Rudolph. Flushed out right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Now we're going to get a timeout here, as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. So out now is the Seattle field goal team. On the right hash, it's a 43-yard attempt. And this one is right through. And the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone and get you 6?
And no chance to get away, as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their 2nd drive. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
Ball again on second down. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 3rd and 1.
They'll run with Hall. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29.
It's a gain of 2.
And that was big right there because they're the bottom 5 in the league in converting on 3rd down. They needed that pickup in a big way.
There were 2 things they said they wanted to win in this game. One, the turnover battle, and the second, 3rd down conversions. So they got one there. They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. They're able to complete this one to Tyler Conklin.
Wilson's pass complete to Tyler Conklin. It's a gain of 5.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Wilson. And he'll find Hall. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39.
A 5-yard gain on the play.
Back to the ground with Hall. Finding room at midfield. And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. And a nice carry there of 15 yards. Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage. But every one of these RPOs, if you do it right and they look the same, whether it's handed off inside or the quarterback keeps it, that allows you to fool the defense so often. And in this case, fooled him with the inside run.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage. But right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward. And how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. On 2nd down, a run with Hall. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. And now on 3rd down, they'll need to get it to the 36 to pick up the first. Wilson. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds. So a big call there, that brings up 4th. They bring their punter out there now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And that is very well done there, as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line. So well done there, and these punters, they get more specialized and better each and every year, don't they?
They sure do, and now it's really not the American punters. It's the Australian punters with their kicking academies and that flat drop and just kind of kicking the nose of the football. They're able to almost stop it where they want to, like a good golfer can check one up.
They'll start out on the ground with Carson. Solid footwork, but not able to get a whole lot. Brought down shy of the 10. To throw on 2nd and 6. Rudolph. Finding Sterling Shepard for his first catch. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. a loss resulted.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Rudolph looking to throw it. To Shepard, complete over the middle. The coverage unit out there thinking pass on 3rd and 3. Now it's Rudolph. In trouble, and he's taken down. John Franklin Myers in there to get him. And on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Fair catch called for and made at about the 32-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Breece Hall helped leading out this offense for another series. And he's sure looking like a lock for a 1,000-yard season. Don't know if he's going to get it in this game, but he'd probably like to just to get past that point.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, as you noted, there's still time, still opportunity. There's still more games to be played. So, yeah, it's not a lock. But barring injury, it certainly looks like he's going to get there. And what an accomplishment that is. Anytime you get over 1,000 yards, you're celebrated in the NFL.
It's been quite a season. Still a couple chapters left in that book, though. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Wilson now off the bootleg. On the move to his left. He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
And that's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
And they'll send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And it'll be Seahawk football as they take over deep in their own territory. Rudolph on 1st down. A quick pass here has got Shepard. And brought down, but not before reaching the 25. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. But when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
This is Carson. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. They had to run for no gain. Now they'll try again from the 25 on 2nd and 10. Shotgun snap for Rudolph. Pressure comes and down he goes. Carl Lawson. He's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Well, how about this? A fistful of sacks already. We're not even out of the first quarter yet. What an incredible start for this defense. If they keep this pace up, they could be looking at an all-time performance.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Back to throw, Rudolph. This is the tight end Fant. A gain of 8 there on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
Brandon, a good idea there on 3rd down. Run a little clear out and hope you can get get your receiver the ball coming across the formation. Nice design, but well played defensively, and they stop him well short.
Here's Michael Dixon now to punt. Fielded at the 33. It'll be a net of only 30 here. 40-yard punt, 10 on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Yannick Ngakoue. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Three 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now, it's Brooklyn in possession. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Handoff, running left. Here's Hall. And not much room to speak of. He'll get about 3 up to the 41.
This offense on 3rd down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted.
Picked off by Sidney Jones.
And the Seahawks are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach on the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and punt the football.
And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
And Walker with it over the middle. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a 1st down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
On 1st down, Rudolph. It's hauled in by Shepard.
And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
You always worry about those smaller receivers running through that gnarly patch of land in the middle of the field. But he did a really nice job there holding on to the football and protected himself as best he could while completing the play.
Now it's Carson.
And down to the 41.
Chris Carson in the Seahawks ball carrier. Taken down the 41.
From the 41, Rudolph. That's complete into the hands of Carson. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another 1st down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They run it with Carson. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Here's Rudolph. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And did he get the feet down? No, they'll say he did not. It's incomplete. Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. And they finally get to him as he's taken down.
Carl Lawson. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and that will keep this a 3-point game.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Here comes another drive from this unit, and Charles, they're coming off a costly mistake on the last possession, an interception in a game that is very close right now.
Well, as we know, they all sting no matter what the situation, but in a one-possession game, that'll hurt a little bit more, but this is an excellent opportunity to make up for it on this drive. I just don't expect him to try and take huge gambles to make up that momentum in a hurry.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Yeah, another negative play in an early down situation. This one to start the drive. You're putting a lot of pressure on your quarterback to bail you out when you're in 2nd and long yardage.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. Here's Wilson. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
On 3rd down, Wilson.
Working the sideline here. Did he get the feet in? Yes, they say that he did. Nice job tapping both of them down.
That 3rd down conversion good for 23.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
Paul on a give up the middle.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. There's Wilson to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. He'll head out of bounds inside the 10, mark it down at the 9. A really nice gain of 25 yards. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Flush to his right, and he will take this one in for a touchdown.
Zach Wilson
With his 16th touchdown of the year.
And the Barons have taken the lead.
That was not a designed run. It was supposed to be a pass, but it turned into an exceptional run. What a scramble for a touchdown.
Extra point attempt to come here. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. So the drive there took 6 plays.
And it was Zach Wilson who took it in himself on the touchdown run to cap it off.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20.
And out now come the Seahawks.
And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted, So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send down the field goal unit, and then in hide and see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
And he'll manage only a couple here up to the 25. From the gun on third down, it's Rudolph. This is Shepard on the catch. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 11 yards for number 11. So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that third down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field. Defensively, make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Here's Carson. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down.
I have a feeling they'll stay committed to running the football, especially on the early downs. They just haven't had a whole lot of success just yet.
So a 5-yard run the other way in the wrong direction, and that leads us to 2nd and 15. To the right side, this is Walker. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up.
I think it might be time to move to a different section of the playbook there because back-to-back runs, both for loss. Now they have 3rd and long coming up.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 17. Rudolph looking to throw. And he'll just get rid of it.
And based on my math, they've only converted 1 time thus far in this game, so you can see the frustration starting to come out a little bit. 3rd downs, they've been a problem for them all game. They've got to start becoming solutions.
Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime. If you're a good football team, you spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively. From the shotgun, Wilson. Finding space at the 40. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Wilson smart to take off and run with it as he's able to pick up the first.
Well, he and his offense were staring down what was likely a 3 and out. Zero fear from his side, though. Never doubted for a second they pick up the first. He's ready to pull the trigger on a keeper the moment it revealed itself.
On 1st and 10, it's Hall. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Working with 2nd and 5 now. Throwing is Wilson. And bringing it in, it's Davis. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 27-yard line. 22 yards there, a first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on it, and they pick up a first down.
Straight ahead is Hall. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
The tackle made at the 24-yard line. A gain of 2 brings up 2nd
From
and
the
8.
24, Wilson. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. To throw is Wilson. And it's caught. Touchdown. Corey Davis, a 24-yard touchdown, as his guys are able to extend their lead. CD for them. This has just been an offensive explosion here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, held scoreless in the 1st quarter. Now they find the end zone again here in the 2nd. Sometimes you just have to have some patience. A lot of people think it's always an adjustment. You have to change what you're doing. Sometimes you just have to do your game plan just a little bit better. And I think that's part of what we're seeing here.
The extra point splits the uprights, and that pushes the lead up to 11. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taken at the goal line. And some good special teams coverage as they bring him down just outside of the 15. The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Their deficit is 11, 14-3, and needing to get something going here as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Walker to start the drive. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And the running lane's non-existent in this 1st half as they'll stop him behind the line. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
This defense is really flown around in the 1st half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
And now we're going to get a timeout here called by the defense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Throwing on 3rd down, here's Rudolph. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And he is going to have a Seahawks 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Now he dumps this off over the middle. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it'll be 2nd down. Now a man open down the middle of the field, and able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A 1st and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. Now a timeout called for by the offense, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this 1st half. Draw play. This is Carson. And he'll take this from 147-yard line to the other. A gain of 6. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the 1st half. Got an open man finding Jefferson. Nice 3rd down conversion and even 20 yards.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of 1st halves, but this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
Now Rudolph on 1st down. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. Now the offense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Rudolph to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half, but the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them up the scoreboard here.
Back to the air, Rudolph. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Rudolph. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. From the right hash, and this one just a chippy. And his kick is good. And that will do it for this first half. So we have reached halftime here in what's an 8-point game. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. We're starting to get near the home stretch of this NFL season. It's week 13, so let's get an update on what's going on. We'll stay in the NFC North as we head over to the Motor City to check on the Lions at home in Detroit. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting LA Rams. The Lions seem to be on their way to what would be a good victory. Finally, let's get to the desert to check on the Cardinals at home in Glendale. And they trail in that one as it's the visiting 49ers who are out in front. Trey Lance with a couple of touchdown passes. Continuing on, here's a look at the next-gen stats in that first half, and I can imagine the halftime discussions are about how can we improve the running game. They have not had success so far, and it's reflected on the scoreboard. Meanwhile, for our home team, they had a little bit more success on the ground than their opponents did, and that should set them up well for the second half to come.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24. The Seahawks offense set to go to begin this third quarter. But, Charles, we saw a pretty entertaining first half, close ball game. Remember there toward the end of the second quarter, the opposition scored to take the lead. Now we'll see if these guys can get a score of their own to regain that lead.
Yeah, they want to have that type of a response, don't they? Because they want to find a way to take control of this ball game one more time. Gauntlet's been thrown down. They want to see if they're ready to answer it.
From the 30 on second down, Rudolph out to the right. He gets it to Lockett. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
They sure picked the coverage guys in the space on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
On 1st and 10, Rudolph. He's got his big tight end, Fant. On second down, it's Carson. And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49. Now Rudolph. Steps away to his, and he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down.
John Franklin Myers picks up his second sack of the afternoon. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number, it's just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys are tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. Here's Wilson. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. So they bring out their punter, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. Now it's Lockett. 43 yards on the punt, 7-yard return, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
Now we will get another look at Seattle's offense. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
It certainly feels like there are more stars at the tight end position than there were even 10 years ago. And I think it's become more of a glamour position because of the ways it can hurt a defense, and guys want to be involved. They can be in line, close to the line of scrimmage. They can split out like receivers. But hands, route running, speed, and some toughness to go across the middle, you put it all together, you got a heck of a tight end candidate.
Now a play fake, and it's Rudolph. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Multiple rushers break through to drop him for the 7th time this game.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Now it's Rudolph. This is the tight end fan, and he'll be brought down just shy of the 40. Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Rudolph. And that is incomplete. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Here's Brooklyn to once again go on offense. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. On 2nd and 9, Wilson completes it to Davis. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 2. From the gun, it's Wilson. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked off by Quandre Diggs.
And the Seahawks are going to take possession of the football. That was one I kind of saw coming, Charles. You had a free safety just hanging back there over the middle, waiting, and he saw that ball go in the air, and he jumped on it.
And I don't know why the quarterback didn't see that. That was just your standard cover 3, which means the free safety in the middle of the field, the 2 corners, and they divide the field in thirds. But when you have a free safety with range, like a good center fielder, he can go from side to side and make plays on the football as he did there.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now a handoff up the middle. Carson. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. From the 35 on 2nd down. Rudolph. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the defense has come up with it.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And that's exactly what offenses try to avoid by using motion and throwing different formations up. They hate when he can draw a bead on the play, get a running start, and make a big play behind the line of scrimmage as he did just there.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Now it's Wilson. And this is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now it's Wilson. Uncorks one for Davis. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And that is very well done there, as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
From that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. They'll run with Walker to begin the drive. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. Line of scrimmage is the 8 on 2nd and 8. They'll fake it. Now Rudolph. Looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. And did he get in? No. They'll mark him down at the 1-yard line. But such a costly interception, nearly a pick six, but now they're so close they are knocking on the door for a touchdown.
And I never want to get on any team for being aggressive because that's part of what their makeup is, and oftentimes it's successful. But in this case, you've got to be selective about it and make sure you take care of the football. That interception almost cost them 6 points. Now their defense has to run onto the field, probably giving the quarterback a few side eyes along the way. They've got to see if they can stop a score.
Suddenly it's 1st and goal after the interception. A quick change in the situation here. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. A big loss there of about 7 yards on 1st and goal, so now it's 2nd down.
That I'm struggling to understand a little bit. That close to the goal line, 1st down, run the football. If you want to throw it, throw some play action on 2nd down.
2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Being chased out left. 5 yards that time on the completion. And now it's 3rd and goal. They'll try to run it here with Hall. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. Not at all what they envisioned on 3rd down. 3 yards in the wrong direction.
It's interesting where we are in the game now. The analytics folks, they might tell you to kick the field goal and make it a 2-score game. But you have to wonder if emotionally they're thinking, let's go for the touchdown and try and slam the door.
And his kick is right there. It's good. And that will extend their lead here to 17-6. So golden field position there squandered as they can muster only a field goal.
Yeah, you were gifted a 1st and goal situation, but I have to give credit to the defense. They were brought out in a really tough situation, so give them credit for holding them to 3. That's a pretty nice accomplishment.
And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Here's Rudolph. It's hauled in by Shepard.
And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Play action. It's Rudolph.
And he's got this to Jefferson.
And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense because so far in this game, no touchdown to this point. And what's usually a direct correlation? Very few explosive plays. That's been their issue. Not able to make that big shot downfield or break one off, but a nice game there for a 1st down.
On 1st down, Rudolph. That's complete into the hands of Carson.
And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
Again, it's Rudolph. And he's going to go down. Back at the 27-yard line, he's sacked. Carl Lawson, who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
Well, this has to count as a great team effort today, but this man, he's been at the center of all of it. Really special day for any defense to have this many sacks in a game, even more so for this player. One of the best individual efforts of the season.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Back to throw, Rudolph. Toward the sideline, it's complete. An athletic grab, but still well short of the 1st. And his kick is indeed good, and that'll make this an 8-point game. So it's a 3rd field goal for him now. He's accounted for all 9 points. I look down to the sideline, though. You can just tell they weren't too happy for 3. They wanted 6.
So they have to have 6. Look, he's keeping them afloat, but they really need to do exactly what you talked about. They need to get into the end zone and score some touchdowns. Otherwise, he's going to have to kick a lot more field goals than just the 3 he's already put through the post.
Well, this offense back out and set to go for their next drive.
And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Wilson's throw going to be caught by Davis.
Wilson's pass complete to Corey Davis. It's a gain of 7. Makes it
Throwing is Wilson. Open man here is Conklin. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. The drive stays alive. A 3rd down gain of 8.
First and 10 at the 39-yard line.
And that's going to do it. Clock hits zeros. They're not going to get another playoff. Time has run out on this 3rd quarter. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Wilson now off the bootleg. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawks defense. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
They'll give to Hall.
And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
He gets it underneath to Hall.
And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
And on now is the punter as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. 37 yards on the punt with no return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
As Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them want to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that. They're not happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick other than the extra point. That's it.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw. It's knocked away and incomplete. Throwing on 3rd down, here's Rudolph. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was forced down that one. Now to have another turnover on his ledger.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Here's Brooklyn to once again go on offense. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Now Hall to start the drive.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
59 yards rushing for him now on 17 carries.
I guess he was saving his best for last, so to speak. Longest run of the day coming here in the 4th quarter right there.
And that type of run makes for a better night for him and his teammates, doesn't it? To be able to produce this late in the game can lead to some big smiles and satisfaction in the locker room after this one's over.
On 1st down, back to Hall to the 43, 2nd down. On 2nd down, a run with Hall. And he'll be tackled at the 45 following a gain of just 2. On 3rd down, here's Hall. And to the 46 he goes and no further. So he is well short of the 1st down marker. Just a yard on the run there. That's going to bring us to a 4th down.
But this was just simply excellent defense. On this 3rd down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
They'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. Here come the Seahawks now set to take over on offense.
The last series for him, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive. 1st and 10.
Now Rudolph on 1st down. That is taken in by the tight end Fan. And they work this well upfield across the 45. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 on that 1st down.
I got the sense that the defense created a little more
did their job, forced the punt. Now, nice start to the drive. Offense has to do their part.
Yeah, they certainly do, but what a great start for them. They got to go thank the guys on D.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Rudolph looking to throw it. That's complete left side to Shepard. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 50-yard line.
Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle. The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
On 2nd down, it's Walker.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. 3rd down, now even tougher. 3rd and 13 after that loss of a yard. This linebacking core, they've done a good job of keeping that running game in check, haven't they?
They certainly have, and what they'll also do when this game is over is thank the guys up front, the big defensive line, because they've kept them clean, so to speak. Not letting blockers get to them, allowing them to run to the football and keep that running game bottled up.
3rd and long, it's Rudolph. And that will be incomplete. Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to run for Seattle. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked down and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field.
Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
To throw again on 2nd down, Wilson.
And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it.
After the incompletion, here now 3rd and 2. Now Wilson. Forced out to his left. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to it. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Well, when you've got a quarterback like this dead to rights, you got to make sure he'll wrap up. Instead, though, he breaks free and off he goes.
And that, in a nutshell, shows you what this guy's made of. I mean, most guys in the NFL just can't do that. He absorbed the contact, refocused himself, and made a break for the end zone.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And he rifles one incomplete. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10.
Makes it 2nd and 10 at the 23-yard line.
Here's a give to Hall.
And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first.
On 3rd down, Wilson. Buying time to his left. 5 yards that time out of the scramble, but now they're looking at a 4th down situation.
He certainly had plenty of success running the ball, and right now I'm getting the sense that he's looking to take off and run every time he steps back to throw it.
But they did a nice job there collapsing on him and holding him to a short gain. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And they call it 38 yards on the punt, no return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Now the ball now going back over the Seattle Seahawks offense. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone.
Now a play fake, and it's Rudolph. He finds his target, it's Evans. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there.
Roughing the passer, defense.
Well, Charles, they're trying to protect this lead late. Those are the types of mistakes they could afford to go without.
About the last thing you want to give them is help in completing a comeback, which is exactly what that penalty does.
The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
On 2nd and 10, Rudolph. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield.
The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback back. He's not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Now it's Rudolph. Dancing to his left. And he wisely will throw that one away. Now here's Michael Dixon as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt.
They'll start on the ground. Hall.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
That's a nice job there, foiling what all offenses try to do, which is control the defensive end in the running game. They want to get to the outside, and if he keeps himself free, stays on his feet, he can make a play just as he did there.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Hall again on 2nd down.
And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
And this is caught. He hits more. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line.
Holding offense.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long?
A handoff for Hall.
Yeah, boy, he had the marker square in his sights, but a good tackle's going to leave him about a yard or so short. Call it a gain of 12, but of course not a first down due to the previous penalty.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. And they'll send out their punter now, standing just about on his own goal line. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Running right, here's Walker. Oh, look at the juke. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8.
Well, they've certainly been successful throwing it around in this game. That's allowed them to move the ball on offense. But I've got to tell you, to watch them run the football and successfully, I'm not taking sides. But to see the ball in a running back's hands, oh, that's football for me.
On first down, it's Rudolph. Here's Carson with a catch out of the backfield. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards, the final tally.
This one was all about clearing space for this play to work because he's going to leak out of the backfield to his right and then angle his way up the field. And a really pretty throw to put it on him and create the big play downfield.
On 1st and 10, Rudolph. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. On the delay, here's Carson. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line.
There's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Walker now on 1st and 10.
And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. We've got a one-score game with inside of 2 minutes remaining. So it's Seahawk football as we march toward a conclusion. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down the wire. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, certainly those are the types of mistakes they're trying to avoid as they attempt to protect this lead late in the game.
And let's face it, they're hoping that this one doesn't cost them in a significant way. Yeah, one guy committed a penalty, but now the entire defense has to pay the price and try and rise up and overcome it.
Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. This defense has not surrendered a touchdown yet. You better believe they're determined not to here on 3rd and goal.
Rudolph.
End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Sterling Shepard. A 7-yard touchdown grab.
And the Seahawks have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th.
So they got the touchdown they needed to cut this to 2, but now they've got to get back to the huddle. No celebration time. Got to figure out what they're going to do on the 2-point conversion.
Here we go now as we get set for a big 2-point conversion.
Now Rudolph.
To the goal line, but it's incomplete. And a failure to convert by the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And this will not be brought out. It's a touchback. This offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Well, they can smell victory, partner. They can see it on the horizon, but certainly we're not done yet here. Defense still has 3 timeouts, and obviously this is a very slim lead they're holding on to.
And let's face it, the easiest way to get this done, challenge your ground game. Challenge your offensive line, your tight ends, your receivers, anyone who's going to lay down a block. Don't let there be penetration because they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and maybe bring extra people to the ball. If you can do that, make them burn their timeouts, run out the clock, life will be good. But if you really want to gamble a little bit, a quick play action, quick throw, might be able to get it done. Just make sure it's not incomplete and stop the clock.
Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as it comes with 1:25 left to go in the contest. It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down. Now Wilson.
They'll set up the screen for Hall.
And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the 1st. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They bring their punter out there now as he's on here to punt it away. That'll be a 41-yard punt, just 1 yard on the return. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. So all eyes on this Seahawks offense. Down 17-15, and time a huge factor. And they need about 35 yards to get in range for a winner as they come up on 1st down. Here's a throw right side, taken in by his tight end. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34.
Throwing here, Rudolph.
Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Carson.
And now following the completion, we're going to get a stoppage here for an injury. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Rudolph. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Rudolph now to throw. A pass underneath for Carson. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Rudolph. Pass complete to Shepard. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. 1st down now with that clock rolling. Completes this again to Shepard. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. One last throw here for Rudolph. To Shepard, complete over the middle. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. What a game we were treated to in this one. And on that final play, they had a chance. They had the ball just beyond midfield for one final shot, but couldn't get it done, and they suffered a loss.
Yeah, and you mentioned how they had a chance on that final play, and getting it to midfield gave them that opportunity, hoping they could find their way to the end zone and make that miracle happen. A really good ending to an entertaining contest, though.
So for the home team here, the win moves them to 3-9 now on the year. And they'll get another home date next week as the Browns will come to town. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, it was a win they needed to turn the season around, but instead, they fall to 5-7. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers.